allow them to mark their ballots online. Through the validation of that, their ballot marked and validated by the voting assistance officer, who is then a bearer, just much like what you can bear an absentee ballot, except for he's bearing, the voting assistance officer is bearing that vote, put it in the box, same box you put it in on that day, and it counts that day, not an absentee. That technology and the laws that permit all of that is not here yet. But whenever I select election equipment based on qualification-based selection, it's not because I haven't thought of what we can do with it in the future if we've done it right. And that's kind of, does that kind of answer all your questions? Now, funding for that stuff is a responsibility of the legislature to determine those priorities. Budget, as far as they allocate that, is theirs.
And see, I don't understand. I simply don't understand. In this particular cycle, with all of the controversy, when you say our voting machines are not what they need to be, that isn't number one on somebody's list. I'm sorry, David's telling us about the taxes they're getting ready to levy probably, and all this other stuff. To me, all of that goes by the wayside. And what I said to the governor's staff lady up there, her secretary, I said, he wouldn't be here without a voting machine. There needs to be, you have to, in other words, nobody would be in this building if you didn't have a way to vote correctly and know and feel like, and I'm not comfortable with letting that slide.
I have to tell you, I think that living in a republic, one of the fundamental things that we have as a top priority is having an election system that everyone has confidence is secure and fair. I agree, but that's my job. My problem is that I see so many people other come down here. Engineers, let's just take for example, I'm a professional engineer. I watch my own profession oppose a good bill to eliminate professional registration for tons and tons of stuff that impacted the business. It did not affect engineers, but I watched my own professional organizations oppose that bill on grounds that was nothing more than saying it was a slippery slope that would impact their protection of their bar industry. In other words, so everybody has that issue that they think is the most important. It's these guys. The legislature is who the Constitution granted the ability to determine what the priorities are.
I'm gonna switch topics.
Okay.
And,
I'm just trying to help you understand why I think about it and what my role
I'm gonna come
is.
back to your first comments. How best then, because you said something about $60 million to $600 million shortfall, so maybe that says a lot about why we're seeing so many new taxes. But how best can we influence what goes on here at the Capitol from your standpoint? How best can this group here best influence what goes on?
How do you best influence it? Today, you don't.
Well, today or the future?
Thank you for being
Because
honest.
Yeah, that's very common.
Thank you for being honest.
Today you don't. You can't.
Don't waste your time.
I'm not saying don't make your points known, but understand that if you burn down relationships that are not going to change anything, you're not going to do it tomorrow either.
When there wasn't one to start with, there's not much to burn.
But here's the way I say it. I mean, you know who your city councilman is, or your JP.
Oh, we do.
That's where you start.
Not getting much further there either, thank you very much, for the same exact reasons.
I mean, and you had a lunch before these guys with these guys before they started voting. There's new elected ones. How many of them did you say, tell me what I can do for you to support you going into the next session?
And so a lot of that will happen.
So in other words, be intentional about building a relationship before it gets torn down by the influence. Get your influence early with relationships. It's a lot harder to tell somebody that's your friend no, especially when your conscience already is telling you that. You see what I'm saying?
How do we compete with Walmart though? I mean, I can't compete with Walmart.
frustration we share.
I think actually what he's saying is